intersection today. There's like horrible accident, so we're gonna look twice, make sure nobody hits us with a trailer. What'd you do? What's the weather supposed to be like? All right, welcome back, Pain is Dead. What's rapping? Welcome to beautiful, sunny Florida. We have been traipsing around in this weather all day. It is a disaster. I'm gonna take you someplace interesting, someplace I think that everybody would love to see the other side of. Not ready to tell you just quite yet where I'm taking you, but ultimately getting to see what you don't see every day with a company is always an interesting take. We are heading that direction now. It won't take us too long to get there. It is local to us in Jacksonville, Florida. I mean, this is somebody that that runs this company that I've known for a while. I'll even throw a little thing in there. Used to work for me way back. We'll catch up with you guys when we get there and give you guys a little sneak peek into the company that you probably have a little bit of interest in. So see you guys then. All right guys, so surprise, we're here at Schiphol Inc. As I said, you guys see these graphic designs as Scott calls them, all over the world. Schiphol is local to us here in Jacksonville, so we decided to run on over and meet him and take a tour of his shop. So here we go.
Hello, welcome to Schiphol Inc.
All right, guys, welcome to Schiphol Inc. We are here today with Scott Keppel.
Hello.
Schiphol. You're right around the corner from us. We decided to run on over, check out your spot. We haven't been here since ever. Literally ever. And literally. Littering and. Littering and. Littering and.
Littering and.
You and I took our different ways in 2015.
Yeah.
And I've yet to be over to your spot since then. So this gave us a great opportunity to kind of give you guys some insight into what you don't see about Schiphol Inc. every day. And also, like, I'll show you a little tidbit. So if you noticed, they've been doing a lot more social media. Some stories have started happening on Instagram. So if you turn around right there, you capture how that's happening, and they're doing their own. So we're kind of dueling cameras today here at Schiphol Inc. And I'm gonna let Scott walk you guys around and show you the place, and then we're gonna catch back up on the couch and do some Q&A with Scott and talk about graphic design in the industry.
Cool. Follow me, guys. This is Josh Ball.
Hi.
He's one of the designers here at Schiphol Inc.
I am.
And he's really good at wrap design. This is Ryan Kellum. He does all of our SEO and social media management and stuff like that. He also does all of our videos, editing. Anything that we need that's online is going to go through Ryan. Say hi, Ryan.
Hey guys.
Adam Stasny. Hey. If you're talking to us, you're probably talking to me or him. He's our communications liaison and handles our day-to-day operations. Donnie Smith.
What's up, everyone?
He's our in-house illustrator.
Welcome to Schiphol Inc.
Anything that we need custom art with, he will draw out, and then we'll vectorize it and kind of draw it more from there. But most of the basic concepts and sketches will come from him. I'm Scott Keppel, and I design wraps.
Welcome back, guys. We are not on our red couch, but we are on the convertible couch at Schiphol Inc. with Scott Keppel. And we were able to walk through and meet all of his guys and kind of get the vibe of his shop, which is really cool. We completely ruined the whole feng shui of what's going on by turning the lights on, and now you can see people, but this thing had a whole like low light, cool coffee house theme that going.
We don't like the light.
When you walk in, you get that very hello, Jasper. We've got a third party involved in this interview. He's really excited to be here, and he might hang out with us. He might not. This is Schiphol's dog, Jasper.
Yep, he's part of the crew. Can't come out.
So back to what we were saying. When you walk in, you do get this very like chill, relaxed vibe. So you guys have a good amount of people here. You're all working on the same thing, and that is what we all get to see on the other side of the installation, which is the artwork and the graphic design that you guys create. So give us a little bit of a rundown as far as like how many projects do you guys put out a week on average?
Right now, between 20 and 25 new wrap designs a week, and that's between 3 people. And it's usually anything from concepts that'll be the first draft, or if it's got a lot of direction, then we'll just go ahead and proof the whole thing. But generally, it'll be like 1 to 3 designs on a first draft, just to get a strong direction and vibe for it.
Okay.
And then from there, build it out. But we keep it really simple. So we get everything up front, you know, from pictures of the vehicle getting wrapped, a rundown of things that the client likes, whether it's a wrap shop's client or someone coming directly to us. We require the same amount of information up front. Kind of car, what do you want? Is there anything specific? What are the freedoms that you'd like to give us? And what do you like in general? It doesn't have to be anything that we did. It could be something you saw on Google, but just anything so we know your style. There's so many different kinds of styles.
Yeah, so with design, as many of you know, and if you're a retail consumer, maybe you don't know, but when you're talking about design, it's a very difficult cliff to jump and take, you know, someone's personal likes and dislikes and put that into a design in order to you know, get it printed and put on their car. So that's always a tough deal to do. Where are challenges that exist with that? Is there?
The challenge is usually if there's really no direction up front. That's when you really get into shooting blanks and trying to find something that fits down someone's alley. And it's really important to...
Speaking of shooting blanks, the whale's jumping in here.
Sorry about that. Go lay down, buddy.
He's really not happy that he can't be involved in this more.
Yeah. So
he really wants to be more involved, but
puppies.
Yeah, puppies. That doesn't look like a puppy.
Oh, he's a puppy. But yeah, you do get that, and we try to avoid it by doing multiple variations. The more questions that we ask in those cases, the less proofs we'll end up doing, and that's another thing with us. Oh shit. That hard cut right there. That's one thing with us is we do flat rate pricing across the board, and we do include all the changes in the pricing. So for every job where we have that never-ending thing kind of happen, where we have to nip it in the butt, there's 10 other jobs that didn't have that happen, so it makes up for it. But it's much better for wrap shops that way, to have the freedom of, okay, my client doesn't feel pressured, you know, they can get what they want. And I think that when you limit that, sometimes you get a client that settles, and then you'll see them either not say something nice down the road to somebody else, or they may not actually be happy with it and get something that they're just kind of dealing with and kind of came to a median with.
Versus being excited about it.
Yeah, and we look for excitement.
Right. Well, and the end goal for any wrap shop and any designer is to have excitement at the end. I mean, that's the whole deal, is for someone to be excited about it. So. And
we're excited, especially when we get it out the first or second proof. Then that's the closest to what we were picturing for it, which is our art. You know, when you get 15 changes down the road, it's not really anyone's project anymore. Right. It's
taking on its own deal. So, quick. Favorite project?
I don't have one.
At all?
Not at all.
Not a favorite project?
No, to be honest with you, and I don't mean to sound like a... Hold on one second. Hey, Adam. But yeah, I've been asked a few times what my favorite project is, and to be honest with you, the ones where I'm like not 100% happy with, when I see it on the final car, I'm like, holy crap, that's the most amazing one I've done yet. And then there's other times when I'm like really stoked, and I'm not as stoked when I see it. You know, there's something that I would have done different, or something along the lines. Sorry, dude, it's crazy. Sorry about that.
All right, so no favorite project.
No favorite project. I have a slew of just like tops.
Right.
But no, I really do. I think that we end up putting so much effort into all of them that I end up having a respect level of all of them.
Sure. Well, and so let's stray away from that and say one project maybe or one concept you haven't done that you would love to do. What is that? Like, and then listen in, because if one of you shoot him an email to do this one concept that maybe he really wants to do, maybe he might hook you up or put something out there. But what is there a design or a concept or anything? And I know I'm putting you on the spot.
R2D2.0.
R2D2.0.
Oh yeah, because I had R2D2. That was the first wrap design I ever did. When I was at your shop, right. 201 Wrap, and I want to do it much better, because looking at that as a starting line, right. And then like looking at where I'm at now and what we can do now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a 5-year-old playing with Legos versus an architect building in a house now.
Yeah, exactly. So
and it was pretty cool then.
If somebody came at me with like a cool egg-shaped car, I would probably want to do R2D2.
R2D2.0.
Yeah.
2.0. Yeah, so Scott touched on something maybe not all of you know or know the dynamic behind, but Scott and I have known each other before Schiphol. Scott and I have known each other before 201 Wrap, but Scott and I kind of ran back into each other, got together and worked for a very long time at 201 Wrap back when it was identity design, and even as it started to take shape into 201 Wrap. Scott also...
That was 2012.
2012, you're right.
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
No, 6 years ago.
That would be 6.
Yeah.
12 minus 8. Yeah, that's it. You're right.
Right. Let's do the math.
Okay. So in starting that, some of the very early on days of the Pain is Dead network were pioneered by Scott. The concepts, what we did, how we rolled things out, Scott took that by the horns and managed that. And then we met someone else a little bit earlier as you guys walked around that also people may remember from being involved with the Pain is Dead network, which is Adam Stastny. The Adam at painisdead.com that you emailed or heard from, we actually met him just a little bit earlier back there.
That was that dude.
That was him. So, small world. We're all local here in the same city. Earlier I said we were heading over, like literally 20, 25 minutes away.
It's about that, yeah. It's not bad.
Not a long distance, but what Scott has been able to envelop in the industry is really unique. And I've said before, is I think it's really cool that the dynamic, once Scott brought this concept to the wrap industry, you started seeing a lot more designers come out of their shells per se and start offering services abroad. So how does that have any effect on you at this point, or what's the dynamic like in that part of the world or the industry?
I think what you get, a lot of people are freelance,
right.
So the workload that they're taking on or the hours that they're able to put into it may be a lot different. I'm committed to putting at least 20 hours a day in, and I've been at that for a long time now, but it's because I have a certain place I want the business to go. It's completely industry forward.
Right.
I think that when you're one person and you're freelance, you're kind of you are picking the jobs. You have to say no to certain jobs because you know like what your field is. I think that you're a little bit more cutthroat when you're freelance. It definitely has opened up opportunities for a lot of freelance designers to grow.
Sure.
Because we're seeing a lot of our style wraps or custom wraps in general pop up left and right. Usually if they haven't hit us up, we can see it in the wrap if it's inspired by. It's definitely, I think that the whole industry has kind of gone as far as like the custom cars go. You've seen a huge difference in now versus 5 years ago when Solid Color was taking over. Now we're seeing more and more custom cars do custom wraps.
Right.
And we have some really cool stuff that we've done and are doing, and every year it's like we have to push our own boundaries a little bit more, and kind of feel that heat after a while too. It's just every single time I make a print file, I'm thinking, what did my last one look like? It's got to look better than that. And I think sometimes the guys want to kill me because they'll get into a project and I'll look at it and say, that's really good, but we should change it up and do this, because I just want it to be better than the last. I always want to be pushing that forward, and I think that as a whole you'll see a lot of other designers that are doing the same thing. And,
Sure.
Especially with Paint is Dead, because Paint is Dead shares so many designed wraps. I mean, it's just crazy to think that we started Paint is Dead with solid color being
Right.
the focus, and now it's just
being what everybody was looking
part of
for. And now you look through, you scroll through that channel, and when you talk about the Paint is Dead Instagram, a lot of it is the eye-catching graphic design, and I think that helps promote the industry as well. And people see that that's what separates somebody, because anybody can get the same emerald gloss green color that looks great on a car.
Did you say that because Adam had that?
I did. Did
Okay.
you caught that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
So anybody can get that color because Adam did it on FRS and it looks amazing. I can't tell you how many emails we got after his project was done. Like, what color is that? What color is that? What can I, and ultimately with this, you're able to make it a step further and even more custom to where it's not as easily attainable. And let's be real, that's what everybody wants. They want the thing that you can't get from anywhere else. So, and that's what pushes the industry.
Maybe that's another thing that kind of changes us up a little bit. As much as we do work with a lot of shops, and there are clients that come in and say, I saw this car online and I want that on mine, we don't repeat designs.
Right.
We have to say no. It would be a dishonor not only to that client but to the wrap shop, because the wrap shop should be getting something that they can promote. And what we're seeing, especially like the weathered stuff, some guys are shocked that it's still around, but these are all in small areas. So immediately, we had one yesterday that they got their car wrapped by a shop that we had never actually talked to, but the wrap shop contacted us to say, hey, I need to know all of your services because I'm getting requests now left and right. And it's because it's just something totally different.
Right.
If you go to Cars and Coffee, you're going to see beautiful cars. They're all going to be solid color. They're all going to be painted. They're all going to be wrapped, but they're all going to be very pretty. And you get that one guy who comes in and the car just looks like it's been through hell, or it's got some kind of crazy abstract design that just looks totally wild. And it might not even be half the car as the car next to it, but there's something about it that
Gets
has
all
to
the
draw
attention.
people in.
Right. So that rolls into my next
Yeah.
question. Is weather going anywhere? Is there, do you see a shift in the industry? Is there going to be a change from that weather to something else? Or
I thought
do
it
you
was
see it
gonna
just
be a
as
year.
strong as...
I gave it a year, and we did a Mustang was the very first one. I had never done one before, and I had no idea. And looking back, there's a million things I would have done different. I thought after a year, maybe I would see a difference. I've only seen it double, triple, and now we've done over 400 or 500 of them. Something.
Right.
I think last time I looked, we were at 2,100 wraps in 3 years, which was a lot of wraps to design. I want to say a good chunk of that was weathered wraps, for
right.
sure.
Well, that's almost your MO. That's almost your signature. That people look to you. They think that if I want a weathered wrap, that's where I go.
Yeah.
But they also need to know that that's not the extent of your abilities either.
And that's why we've been branching out a lot lately.
Right. You brought in some new designers that, I've known some of your previous designers, all great designers, but, you seem to keep evolving even that. And I think with any design, a lot of people design what's true to them or what they feel comfortable doing. So almost in changing and branching out, as you say, you almost bring in some different fresh minds, some new thought process,
for sure.
and keep it changing up. So that's pretty interesting.
And it's also trying to get people outside of that comfort zone too.
Right.
Because I have a certain place I like to stay with design. If I see a design job come through that I've never done, I don't say no.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're a car guy, I'm a car guy. I know what looks good on a car, so
Right.
I'll just keep on doing what I think looks good, and we'll get there.
Speaking of saying no, is there a project that you've said no to that you remember and why?
Oh, there's
why
a ton
no?
of projects that we said no to. It usually has to do with something because we've already done it before.
Okay.
But there's also jobs that the amount of time that would have to go into it would end up taking time away from production in general. Then I have to say no. Or I can work with other designers too. There's enough talent in the industry that we can collaborate and get a job out. So it's not necessarily that I would veer away from a specific project or anything, but I would figure out how to get them taken care of.
Is there
even
collaboration?
Even if it's not me, but there are times when if it is me and I can collaborate with someone and I can do this part and they can do that part, we can put it together.
So there's times in the past where Schiphol Inc. has worked with another design firm to create something together?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know that.
And even in some of our proofs, like Richard Anderson, you've heard of Richard Anderson.
We just did one for Richard Anderson.
So he does like these nasty templates.
Right.
So we started working with him on the template side and how can we incorporate these templates with our stuff. So some of the new Porsches that we're putting out, you know, we're using the RA Designs templates. We work with Yusupov. Alexander Yusupov is an awesome guy. I could not do a seamless wrap if it wasn't for him. I mean, he taught me the whole thing with that. So I mean, there's times when even just the tips and tricks we can work together. But yeah,
very cool.
You have more.
I just don't want to jump on the couch.
It's a comfortable couch.
I mean, the couch is getting more comfortable the longer we sit here. So one thing that truly sets Schiphol apart, and you mentioned it earlier, you get a ton of requests for doing installs, and you're not allowed to do them because I do them in Jackson. I do them in Jacksonville.
You just did one of my designs.
I did. Yeah. I just did one of your designs, and a great design went together well for the guy that says, I don't know if I'm comfortable taking on a print file from someone that I don't know. Trust me, Scott grew up in a wrap shop with us, and ultimately we just did one in the last 30 days for him, and it was great. Customer was happy. Everything ended up great.
Came out good.
So Scott gets a lot of requests for doing installs, and I think you've really set a benchmark in the industry saying, I am this, I am not this. And the this is, I am a design firm. And when you walk in here, you really get that feel. Like this is almost like a modernized tattoo shop.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
You know, like you walk in, you've got the artists back here doing their thing. You've got a couch, you've got drinks, a TV. It's the vibe and everything that you get here is very just chill. You know, let's get things done. It's a different environment. It's very cool. So ultimately, what you notice when you tour this facility is that there is no place for installations, and Scott has been avid in the fact that that's what they're not as Schiphol Inc. So talk a little bit about that.
We found our comfort spot, and it is with design. Do one thing really, really well. If there is ever a car here that is going to get wrapped, there's a reason behind it, and it's very few and far between. The reason is I'm not a rapper. You've seen me try to rap. I'm not a rapper, but I was in the wrap industry before I was in design. I know the process of how a wrap shop works, and what I'm also not is a graphic designer. I don't do brochures. We don't do a lot of signs. We don't do a lot of that. We can. If a wrap shop says like, hey, I really need a sign for a show, can you do it? Yeah, of course I can. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for wrap design. We're here to help your wrap shop get a car out that looks great. Whether it's commercial, whether it's custom, anything. I know what I can't do, so I'll always be very vocal about that.
What I think I always said, as when we go back to Tool and Wrap, we always talked about throughout amongst ourselves is that, and Scott was a classic example. Scott did X, but he took on A, B, C, D, and E as well because somebody else didn't do it as good as what Scott thought it could be done. What we always talked about was when you take on so much on your shoulders, you become less of a person at that thing that you're really great at, which is X. So with Scott being really great and has developed this niche in the industry for creating wrap designs, I think a lot of what he says is, you know, you could take on signs, but if he's got 10 sign jobs back there, they're taking away his focus on doing graphic design. You know,
you gotta focus on the quality side.
Right.
It's not always about the time. It's not always about how much can I get in. What can we do that's really great and different?
Right.
That's all that matters.
Which is great, and that just gives you guys all, from the horse's mouth, the impact and what he's trying to do, and that is trying to make this industry amazing and create the best wraps out there, best designed wraps.
Well, thank you.
You know, out there. So,
thank you. Appreciate that.
We're gonna cut here.
That was easy.
Easy peasy, huh?
Schiphol Inc tradition is to sign the board when you visit. Austin Smith. The steak. He's gonna be in our video the whole time. Thank you, Derek.